money stay high. Go to YouTube for story time with Ray We say he's a great guy. Have a lot of fun telling you his life and blaze live. Stay high. I dare you tonight to what? To like, share, and subscribe.
What is good, Vibe Gang? Welcome to another Story Time with Ray. This one's going to be a little bit different. Today we celebrate the 23rd year of 9/11 from when that happened, and I was in close proximities when it happened, and this is more of what I was feeling. This story time is going to be more of how I was feeling, and the feel around the whole entire area at the moment. It was. I pretty much cut class to go because I wanted to go get the blueprint. Blueprint came out, and I wanted to go to Manhattan to go get the album. And one of my dudes, he said he was gonna go over there, so I just went with him. We stopped by my homie's crib. We stood there for a little bit, and then we booked it to Manhattan. And then we got there. I don't know what time, but I know it was like early as shit because I remember not wanting to be nowhere near where my parents or anybody's gonna fucking be to see me. So once we made it to Manhattan, I knew we were good. And we got there, and when we got there, we were like 2 blocks. It had to be like 2 blocks away from the Twin Towers. And I remember just coming out the train station, the subway, and that's when I heard it just passed by me. I just heard the first one just come by because I remember saying, like, I don't remember hearing planes that close because it sounded so close, and I didn't understand. And then everybody that was in the block, I remember coming out, everybody that was on that block, everybody looked up at the same time, and it was kind of like crazy. And then a couple of seconds later, we hear this big, it sounded far away, but it wasn't. And this big boom, and frozen. It was just a frozen sensation. Like, it was like, what the fuck was that? And then I kind of got thrown off a little bit, and then I started hearing people screaming and doing all types of crazy shit. And I'm just like, what's going on? Me and my boy looking at each other like, I don't know what the hell's going on. There was a lot of people like running, a lot of people saying, and then I remember someone saying a plane hit one of the buildings. That's the first thing I heard. And I was like, what? And then they were like, yeah, it was in that direction. Nobody knew it was the Twin Towers. From the area where I was at, nobody knew it was one of the Twin Towers that got hit. And I froze, and I was like, oh shit. And then and the first thing that came to my head was, is another building, and like, it's not. No one knew that it was the Twin Towers from where I was at. And then I was just like, oh, somebody fucked up. That was what we were saying, the people that were around, they're talking about it, because we were just asking each other and shit. And I remember people were just saying, like, oh, it's probably somebody got, stole the plane, or somebody, a pilot fucked up or some shit like that. It was like an error or some shit like that. And then a couple minutes passed by, and we're walking towards the Empire State Building. And we took a long block because there was like ambulance, and there was a whole bunch of shit going towards there. So there was cop cars, ambulances, firefighters. So it was crazy. So we were just like all humans, very curious about what the fuck is going on. And then the second one hits. We hear the second one, and everybody looks right away, and then hears it again. I mean, we're just like, so at that moment, that was the quietest I've ever heard Manhattan. Nobody knew what to do. Cars was like going everywhere. People were parked. People were coming out their cars. People, like, it was to a point where no one knew what to do at that moment. And before we could even think about it, it felt like seconds passed by. The first building comes down. And we didn't get covered like the people that were closer, but we got dust on us. And I'm just remember thinking in my head, like, yo, is this really happening right now? And shit. And then people were running, people were screaming. I remember seeing a whole crowd, and then it just got dark. Like you couldn't see past your hands at some points. And it was just so, it was eerie as shit. It's like the most eeriest thing in the world. And I didn't even get the brunt of it. Like I got covered with it, but not, I wasn't close enough where I didn't know where I wasn't going. I knew exactly where I was going, but it was so cloudy that I couldn't see anything, like in front of me. But I could see the street. I could see what's right in front of me. But from past that, I can't see shit. And it was like we didn't know where to go. We didn't know what to do. And then before you could even think of it, here comes the second building down. And then now that's when people started to really panic. Because people were panicking in the beginning, but people started to really, really panic. And I just said, run towards the bridge. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Run towards the bridge. I wasn't thinking about taking a train. I wasn't thinking about anything. All I was thinking about was get to the bridge. And I just started booking it. And me and my boy, we started booking it that way and all that. And then as, you know, you're going to get tired and shit like that. I could barely fucking breathe. And as I'm walking, all you hear is people saying, they're talking about, they're going to hit the, because at this time we already knew what was going on. By the second one, we were like, okay, this is obviously on purpose. And people were saying, oh, they're saying that there were things in the bridge. Like they're going to close the bridge down and everything because they don't want, because there was scares or something, somebody, or there was something on that bridge. And then I was just like, we're kind of fucked now because now we can't do anything. But the bridge was packed. The bridge was packed with people walking, trying to leave the city. And I didn't know anything until, like, my brain was so discombobulated that we finally got to the bridge. And to walk from there to there, it's clear, piece of cake. You could do that within an hour, probably an hour and a half. If you got a bike, you probably do it in less time. But that bridge was so blocked that you couldn't go. It wasn't moving. There were so much people on that bridge, so many cars on that bridge. So the trains were locked down. Nobody would, like, they'd shut the trains down. It was the most. We thought that's it. This is the beginning. That's what I was thinking in my head. This is the beginning of the end. This is it. And it was the most scariest thing that I've ever witnessed in my fucking life. And I don't even want to even know what the people that were closer to the Twin Towers were dealing with. Yeah, I'm talking about I was way far enough where I couldn't really see much, but close enough to feel the effects and see what's going on. And it was scared. I was like shocked that they even attempted to do this shit. All the lives that were lost in the towers and in the plane and on the other ones, the other plane crashes that they did that day too. Because after that, it took a while for me to get back to the house. I got home late as hell and I took a shower. I had all this dirty ass clothes on me. I took a shower and I just went to bed. I didn't talk to nobody. The internet was down. Everything was down. Everything was crazy that day. And all the people that we lost and all this for nothing. And it's for nothing. It was all for somebody's greed or whatever the case was. There's speculations on 15 reasons why this happened. But in reality, we're never going to know the exact reason why 9/11 happened. Because there's so many theories out there that make sense. But it's still hard to talk about to this day because so many people lost their lives and it was pointless. It was for no reason at all. And it's never to this day, and never, no matter how you would explain it to me, I won't be able to comprehend it. Because I mean, I know people that had people in those buildings. I've known people that lost parents in those buildings, and it was all for shit, for nothing. So I mean, I know this story time already is a little bit short, and I know it's a little bit, but this is the moment in this is the moment in this country, that moment right there in this country. It didn't matter what skin color you was. It didn't matter who you voted for. It didn't matter how much more money you had and not. Like the takeaway that I have for that moment in my life was at that specific moment when the second plane hit, at that moment, none of that mattered. None of it did. Everybody was the same, scared. It didn't matter how colored, it didn't matter how tough you think you was. None of it mattered. The only thing that mattered from that point on is that was the one time that I've seen with my eyes unity between everybody. After 9/11 happened, there was a lot of things that were going on, and the news media was putting up whatever they wanted to put up, but I didn't see that. I didn't see the New York unity that they were talking about. I didn't see the connection that they had, that these people were seeing that there was going on in New York since 9/11. Because in my neighborhood, we were having stores owned by those people from that country being vandalized and broken into, and that's what we saw. That's what we were seeing, a divide between everybody and the Arabs that own these stores and these locations in that part of New York. And that short-lived moment of unity that I felt, it's sad. It saddens me to know that it has to take an event like that to happen. Our lives lost for us to come together and feel the same thing at the same time. And that unity that we had at that moment of we all feeling the same thing. That moment, it didn't matter what color I was. It didn't matter about racism. Didn't exist. Not having money in my pocket didn't exist. Struggles that we have on a day-to-day didn't exist. None of it existed. It was more of a we're all in this together moment. And what made me even more upset about everything is the aftermath of it, of how we acted towards people from that country that have nothing to do with that. And seeing these kids in my school get beat up and these stores get vandalized for just put a statement out there, I guess. So when y'all talk about like everything that happened with the George Floyd thing and all that, and the protesting, the Black Lives Matter protesting, and all that stuff, like in my mind, I'm like, you guys are acting like that's new. Just because you're seeing it through video now, didn't mean it wasn't happening since back then. For some reason, our brains, we want to attack everybody around us because why? We can't get to the people that actually are the ones to blame. So we take our frustrations out on each other, and then that's where we have our divide. That's where we have separation. That's where we have people not fucking using their brains, not using their common sense, and seeing what the fuck is going on, and coming together as a whole community and not falling for bullshit no more. Shout out to everybody out there that understands where I'm coming from and sees my point of view on this whole entire situation. And rest in peace, and my condolences goes out once again for everybody that has lost somebody from this tragedy. And we still need to do better. We still do need to do better. And this upcoming election, we need to know. We need to start using common sense on this one, and we need to stop going off of what the telephone and what the computer tells us. We need to start using our common sense, and we need to start recognizing bullshit when we hear it. And I'll leave you guys with this. Voting is coming soon in November. Do what common sense tells you to do. Stop voting with your heart. Stop voting because you want to support an artist. Stop voting because you, whatever the case is, vote because it makes sense to you who to vote for. I have, in my heart, I feel like this is our last opportunity. If we get this one wrong, this is going to change the face of this country forever. And I know who I'm going for. Trump 2024. No matter what no one tells me. Guys, I love all of you. I'm going live tonight, 9:30 p.m. with my man Spectrum on the Vibe Reaction page and my man Shakespeare. I'm going to see you guys in a minute. I'm going to go eat something. I'm hungry. I love all of you. Peace.
I got a bad feeling about this.
They say Larry is a vibe like my nigga Ray. I be cool and I get high. I roll bigger J.